I replayed conversations in my mind, trying to find the exact moment things changed, wondering if I trusted too easily or cared too much. Betrayal has a way of turning pain inward. You stop blaming the person who hurt you and start blaming yourself. And that's the most dangerous part, because betrayal doesn't just break trust, it damages identity. What hurt the most wasn't losing them, it was losing the version of myself that believed loyalty was mutual. I became quieter, more cautious, less willing to open up, not because I wanted to, but because betrayal rewires survival instincts. It teaches you to protect yourself even when you don't want to live guarded. I learned that some people stay close, not because they care, but because they benefit from your kindness. They listen not to understand, but to learn your weaknesses. They support you until support becomes inconvenient. And when loyalty demands effort, they disappear without explanation. The worst part is they don't look like villains. They look familiar, safe, and trustworthy. Healing from betrayal isn't linear. Some days you feel strong. Other days, memories resurface unexpectedly. But healing begins when you stop seeking closure from the person who hurt you and start creating it for yourself. Closure is understanding that their betrayal was a choice, not a reflection of your value. I never believed betrayal would be part of my story because I trusted carefully, or at least that's what I told myself. I believed I could read people. I believed loyalty was obvious when it was real. But betrayal doesn't arrive like a warning sign. It arrives quietly, disguised as comfort, familiarity, and shared memories. This story didn't begin with lies, it began with trust. The kind of trust that makes you feel safe enough to be honest, vulnerable, and unguarded. The person who betrayed me wasn't a stranger. They were someone I spoke to every day, someone who knew my routines, my fears, my weaknesses, and my dreams. They knew which parts of my life mattered most, and that's what makes betrayal devastating. It's not the act itself, it's the access they were given. I defended them when others questioned their intentions. I ignored my instincts because loyalty felt more important. Then doubt, and slowly, without realizing it, I started explaining their behavior instead of questioning it. At first the changes were small, replies became shorter. Plans were postponed. Effort felt optional and honesty became selective, but I convinced myself that people go through phases, that relationships change, that loyalty means patience. What I didn't understand was that while I was holding on, they were already letting go. Betrayal rarely happens suddenly, it happens in stages. Silence replacing effort, convenience replacing commitment, and eventually replacement replacing presence. The truth didn't arrive with a confession, it arrived with clarity. I noticed how easily I was excluded, how conversations felt forced, how my presence no longer mattered, and in that moment I realized betrayal doesn't always involve lies. Sometimes it involves being slowly erased while still being kept close, enough not to notice immediately, and that realization hurts deeper than anger, because it makes you question every memory, every promise, and every moment you thought was real. I replayed conversations in my head, searching for the exact moment things changed, wondering if I missed something obvious, wondering if trusting them was a mistake. But betrayal is confusing because it makes you doubt yourself instead of the person who hurt you. You question your worth, your judgment, and your value, and that's the hidden damage betrayal causes. It doesn't just break trust, it rewrites how you see yourself and others. What hurt the most wasn't losing them, it was losing the version of myself that believed loyalty was mutual. I became more cautious, more reserved, less willing to open up, not because I wanted to, but because betrayal teaches you survival. Lessons you didn't ask for. It teaches you that not everyone who stays is loyal, not everyone who listens cares, and not everyone who smiles means well. I learned that some people enter your life to benefit from your kindness, not to protect it. They stay as long as it's convenient and leave when loyalty becomes uncomfortable. And the scariest part is that they don't look dangerous, they look familiar, they sound supportive, and they feel safe until they're not. And by the time you realize the truth, the damage is already done. But here's what betrayal also taught me. It taught me awareness. It taught me to listen to actions instead of words, to value consistency over excuses, and to protect my peace instead of chasing validation. It taught me that trust should be earned repeatedly, not given freely. And most importantly, it taught me that someone else's betrayal is not a reflection of my worth. It's a reflection of their character. Healing from betrayal isn't quick, and it isn't simple. Some days you feel strong. Other days the memories return unexpectedly, but healing begins the moment you stop blaming yourself for someone else's choices. You were not wrong for trusting. You were honest in a world where too many people pretend, and that honesty is not weakness, it's proof that you were real. If you're watching this and you've been betrayed by someone you trusted, understand this: you didn't lose because you cared too much, you learned. Because you saw the truth, and while betrayal changes you, it doesn't have to destroy you. It can make you wiser, more aware, and stronger than before, because the people who truly belong in your life won't test your loyalty, they'll protect it. And sometimes the biggest betrayal becomes the biggest lesson, not about others, but about yourself, your boundaries, your value, and your strength. And when you finally look back, you'll realize that losing them wasn't the loss, losing your peace would have been, and choosing yourself was the real victory.